With consecutive Firestone Indy Lights victories, Sage Karam seized the championship points lead from Carlos Munoz in a dominating performance on the banks of the tricky Iowa Speedway. A charging Gabby Chavez gave Karam all he could handle but came up just short, while Jack Hawksworth worked out of his midseason slump, completing a podium sweep for Schmidt-Peterson Motorsports.
Sage Karam for the second straight race. We'll see the checkered flag. He's the winner.
The tricky triangle is next as the Indy Lights Series returns to the lightning-quick Pocono Raceway for the first time since 1989. Can Sage Karam carry his momentum back home to Pennsylvania, or will Carlos Munoz rebound from adversity to get back up front? The Firestone Indy Lights Series from Pocono is next. Picturesque Pocono Raceway, for the first time in 24 years, open-wheel racing returns to this track, and Firestone Indy Lights is here for race 7 of 12 on the 2013 championship schedule. Hi again, everyone, along with our driver analyst, Davey Hamilton. I'm Mike King. Welcome to Pocono. And, Davey, this track is certainly two things. Unique because of its three corners, and wide open.
Wide open it is, Mike. Three distinctive corners, very challenging. All three corners completely different, and makes it a lot of fun.
Coming into race number 7 for the first time in 4 races, we have a new championship leader. Sage Karam atop the championship standings. The man who is now chasing him is standing by with the third member of our broadcast team, Jake Query.
Carlos Munoz has lost his points lead now to Sage Karam, who takes over in first position in the championship chase. However, your 5th pole position of the season here at Pocono. Tell me about this track and what you're going to have to do to get yourself back in position now to get the points lead back.
Yeah, so we had that problem on the tire, we think. So I don't know what really happened, but anyways, we are here in Pocono. So far, so good. You know, I've been first all the sessions. Yesterday we focused a lot on the race because I think we have to work a lot on the race in the ovals. But anyways, it's a great track. You know, it's totally different each corner from the other. So it's gonna be tough, 40 laps for sure. Here it's gonna be also impossible to pull away. It's gonna be a nice race, hopefully, like Indianapolis.
Which of the 3 turns here do you consider to be the trickiest of this tricky triangle?
For sure the first corner. No, everyone said the first corner because it's the tightest one and the more marking. So there is like all the time is where you want to focus the car. No, you have a problem there to be flat. So all the days we were focusing on that corner, and I think we had a great car since the beginning. So let's see how it goes in the race.
Carlos Munoz knows a little something about 2.5-mile racetracks. Keep in mind, he became just the 3rd Colombian to finish first or second in his debut Indianapolis 500-mile race back in May.
Carlos Munoz coming into race number 7, trailing the new championship leader, Sage Karam, by 9 points. Gabby Chavez, 3rd in the point standings, 30 points back. Been a great first half of the season. Certainly we're anticipating the second half, but let's hit the rewind button and take a look back at the first 6 races on the 2013 schedule. As we get set to kick off another season of Firestone Indy Lights here on the NBC Sports Network. So we've got a lot of movement out of the 8 cars on this grid as the Firestone Indy Lights campaign underway.
Contact.
He spun. They both spin. And
Hawksworth now into the lead.
The 2013 St. Pete 100 belongs to Jack Hawksworth.
Here's the Andretti Autosport dialyzer entry with Carlos Munoz aboard, and he is the winner. The green flag flies.
We have heavy contact. 3-4 cars involved as they smack the wall down the main straightaway.
Munoz, he didn't put a wheel wrong today. Twin checkers. As Munoz has won 2 in a row on a beautiful day at the world's greatest race course. Fans will come to their feet as the green flag is out.
Look at this pass. Picture perfect. He got it right underneath him. Is absolutely how he needed to do it in this turn 1.
You just wonder when can they make that move if they've got one in their bag of tricks right now.
Here's Sage Karam. Now Chavez going to make it 3 wide to the outside, guys. We're going to have a 3 wide shootout at the line. It's a drag race. At the
got the momentum?
Here comes Dempsey. Dempsey's going to go 4 wide. It's going to be... Dempsey won it. Oh! Dempsey won it. 4 wide at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Here today in West Allis, Wisconsin at State Fair Park, the green flag will fly, and we are racing. David, they're already 4 wide, 1 into 1.
Sage Karam goes for the lead, and it looks like the number 8 machine is going to make the pass on lap 56. And for the first time in his Firestone Indy Lights career, he dives to the bottom of the racetrack, salutes the crew, and Sage Karam goes to victory lane at the historic Milwaukee Mile.
Sage Karam for the second straight race. We'll see the checkered flag. He's the winner. Chavez is second. Hawksworth is third. Sage Karam has gone on a 2-race win streak in Firestone Indy Lights, and he is now the new championship leader.
So looking forward to the second half of the 2013 Firestone Indy Lights season as you take a look at the starting lineup there at the top of your screen. And as we mentioned, just 9 points separate the top 2 drivers. Sage Karam from right here in nearby Nazareth, Pennsylvania, and Carlos Munoz, who runs second. Davey Hamilton, let's talk about your do's and don'ts as the Firestone Indy Lights drivers, this small field that's big on talent, gets set to tackle the tricky triangle.
It is a small field, Mike, but as you say, big on talent. First thing is, don't make any crazy moves too early in this race. There's only 8 cars. Take it easy. Don't make a mistake early. Also, Mike, this racetrack, 3 distinctive corners, very difficult, all different. Make sure that you don't mistake which corner you're in and what your car can do through there. May take some changes in the tools of the car to make it good at each corner. And then be prepared. Do be prepared to have another finish like at Indy. It's a possibility of having a big side-by-side finish coming down this long straightaway.
2, 3 wide, maybe 4 wide.
Well, let's hope so. We'll
Who
see.
knows? Yeah, Carlos Munoz, 5th pole of the season. 188.861 miles an hour, 84 degrees, partly cloudy. Great day for racing in the Pocono Mountains of Pennsylvania. Long Pond, PA. That's where you'll find us this week. Firestone Indy Lights as they'll come off of turn number 3. Pace car will come in, and we're set to start the second half of the Firestone Indy Lights season. Carlos Munoz, Davey, with a good jump, and they're not going to let him go.
Yeah,
Too good a jump.
Yeah, too big a jump. You know, these guys, there's only 8 cars, guys. You just need to stay side by side, back to not wanting to make a mistake early. Well, that's part of it. Just nice, easy start, guys. Stay in line. It's a long straightaway down into turn 1. It's 40 laps, Mike, so you don't have to be in a hurry.
Davey, the one thing that I was very impressed with when it came to watching Carlos Munoz in the practice session, he was fastest at the end of the practice session stint on the same set of tires. He turned his fastest lap of the session among all drivers on lap 39 of the 44 laps that he turned.
You know, and that's one thing that we talk about on ovals sometimes, Mike, and sometimes that makes the do's and don'ts because it's saving the tires. But here, they seem to be really good. The car seems to be as fast on the end of a stint than it does the first of the stint. I do think it's going to, they're going to slow down a little bit, and it's going to slick it off a little bit out there, Mike. But tires shouldn't be a problem at all at this race.
You've done a lot of laps in the 2-seater, Davey, and you say this is a great surface, great racing surface.
You know what? The only bumps there are, period, is right where they're at now in the tunnel turn, in the Indy turn, and it doesn't hurt. It doesn't affect you at all. And there's a little bit of one going down the straightaway, but they've done a fantastic job paving this place. It's smooth, and it's going to be racy.
Turn 1, banked at 14 degrees, styled after the old Trenton track. Turn 2, 9 degrees, styled after Indianapolis. Turn 3, here they are now, 6 degrees, Davey, styled after Milwaukee.
And they are that. Milwaukee, very flat, long corner, and they're coming through it right now, picking up the throttle, Mike, coming down. They're going to throw the green this time. Here they come.
So the green flag, this is a good alignment here, Davey, across the line, and they'll remain side by side. But Carlos Munoz will be the leader heading to turn number 1.
But how about this? Somebody's going on the inside. Looks like that's Hawksworth, I think, going to the inside of Carlos, not going to make the move.
Yeah, so as I believe that's Gabby Chavez. That's the 7 car. And Davey, let's make no mistake, these are monstrously long straightaways between these corners.
Unbelievable. The longest straightaway that the IndyCar Series and the Firestone Indy Lights run on for sure down this front straightaway. But the straightaway from turns 1 to turn 2, it's also a long straightaway.
Gabby Chavez had gone to second, but Sage Karam says, I want to take that back. And Davey, he's racing on what is his home track. Nazareth is his home. That's only about 30-40 miles south of here. This is his home racetrack. This would be a big day for him if he could win.
Yeah, it sure is. And also Michael Andretti, who owns the car in the lead of Carlos, he also is down the road too. So both those cars in front have ties at this racetrack.
So they've gone single file here early on, working the third of the 40 that will make up the Pocono 100, a 2.5-mile racetrack, Davey. And for these guys, I tell you, it's been a grind for some of these teams and some of these drivers. And there's the 4 car
Goncalves, he's going to try to work to the inside here in turn 2.
Sure, makes the move, makes a nice pass in that tunnel turn. Clean pass over Garcia right there. And here it comes.
It's
Beach in the other Andretti car, trying to do the same thing down into turn 3.
This is the 18-year-old from Stockdale, Ohio. Recent high school graduate. He'll go side by side with Garcia. And Davey, the last thing you can afford to do is lose that lead draft.
Yeah,
and Peter Dempsey's in danger of doing that right now.
The first 3 cars, they are in that draft, but that 4th place car of who's in for Hawksworth right now is backing up and losing that draft. And that's something you definitely don't want to do. Meanwhile, Beach does pull off that pass on Garcia.
Working the 4th of the 40 that make up the Pocono 100. Carlos Munoz looking to retake the championship lead. He leads Sage Karam and Gabby Chavez at Pocono Raceway.
Give me your street circuits, your ovals. Give me your road courses and your cathedrals of speed. Give me drivers who live to put it all on the line and cars unlike any other. Because this is America, and here we race IndyCar.
Next stop, the Indy Toronto.
Introducing a car company that's never made a single car. Legendary durability. Impressive mileage. Firestone tires. So unstrap the saddle, 'cause these old stallions are ready to run. Again. Whatever you drive a Firestone.
The command has been given. Row 1, let me know. Row 1 on.
Live in-car cameras.
Base car rolling.
4-in-1 mosaic. Having your heart race as fast as theirs.
Here we go.
Hey, good for green.
That's powerful. Download IndyCar 13 now, only from Verizon.
The British are coming! No, wait. It's the Italians. The Italians are coming!
The 5-passenger Fiat 500L. It's a big new world.
This is going to start a revolution.
Forward, forward, left, forward, left, forward, left! It's a big finish!
Shark Hunters 2-hour series premiere, Wednesday, July 31st.
Formula One Racing heads to Budapest, where the summer heat will push the drivers to the limit on the tight and narrow track.
That is massive.
Formula One Racing, Hungarian Grand Prix, live Sunday, July 28th at 7:30 a.m. Eastern on the NBC Sports Network.
Along with Jake Query and our driver analyst Davey Hamilton, I'm Mike King. Welcome back. It's coverage of Firestone Indy Lights on the NBC Sports Network. Second half of the 2013 campaign underway for these young drivers. And it gets underway here at Pocono Raceway. Open wheel racing, Davey, here at this track for the first time since 1989. And rave reviews. The fans like it, and certainly the drivers like being here.
Yeah, I think it's exciting. First time for myself to be here, Mike, and first time on the track as well. And it's going to be a great place to race. I can't wait to see the Eyes on IndyCar series. But you know how important this race is, and every race for this championship. Carlos Munoz is only 3 points. He just moved up to the lead in the points championship, 3 points ahead of Sage Karam. So Sage, he's wanting that first spot back to keep the points lead.
Yeah, Sage Karam, who has won back-to-back races at Milwaukee and Iowa, looking for the trifecta on the tricky triangle. If you believe in numerology, Davey, it could be working for Sage Karam here this weekend as he is on his home track. But Munoz, who gave up the championship lead at Iowa, looking to regain it. And as we run right now, he has moved to the top, as you mentioned, just 3 points ahead of the 8 car of Sage Karam.
Well,
every position counts so much here.
Every position does count.
Look
at the top
Look at Zach Beach working on the 77 of Hawksworth.
And he pulls off that pass down in that tunnel turn, looking good. Nice, another nice battle. That was actually turn 3 coming on the front straightaway.
He set him up, Davey, coming off of turn 2 and was able to get to his inside.
And look, you see where Hawksworth had to lift just a little bit. Look how much ground he lost, Mike. He lost, 10 car lengths basically over having to lift just that little bit, not be able to run right behind Veach, and now moves himself into 4th. And ironically, the points end, the top 3 guys on track in position are the top 3 in points as well.
Sage Karam and Gabby Chavez. This is the battle for second place, as Chavez, who has had a very consistent season, but Davey just hasn't had the opportunity to make it to the top step of the podium. He was second at Long Beach. He was second at Indianapolis. He was second at Iowa. He just needs to find that little bit more to make his way to the top step of the podium.
Well, he's a good driver, and we talk about many times how short the field is, but how big the talent is, and he's one of those guys that, when you run second, you can win a race as well, and he just hasn't had that break to come across the line in first yet.
Okay, a bit of a breakaway here, Davey, for Carlos Munoz. Then you've got, there's the second and third place cars of Karam and Chavez. When you start losing touch with the leader in a short race like this, when you begin to panic just a bit?
Yeah, I wouldn't panic quite yet. It's only 9 laps in. They're coming around to just to finish a quarter of this race, Mike. So I wouldn't panic quite yet just to see what Carlos's car ends up doing. It may fall off a little bit, and we never know. Sage may just be comfortable riding there, knowing that his car, just taking care of his tires and hoping for the end.
Schmidt-Peterson Motorsports right now, Davey, running second, third, and fifth with Karam, Chavez, and Hawksworth. But Hawksworth really needed to build something on that good run at Iowa. Right now he's dropped back to 5th place for Jack Hawksworth. Still one of those situations with, we see him 5th in the championship, so he perhaps could pick up a little bit. But Jack Hawksworth, he really needs to find his way back to the podium on a consistent basis.
Well, we've talked about it so many times, how he started off so good winning those races and then having a big change-up within that Schmidt-Peterson team, the change in engineers, which, it doesn't seem that's really worked out, to be honest with you. But he needs to just keep fighting. He needs to keep his head down. He's had so much success at a young age in other forms of racing, and he comes into the Indy Lights. Just started off like we expected, but it's not where we expected him right now.
Dominated Pro Mazda last year, opened the season at St. Petersburg with the win. Second at Barber, and then it's been a bit of a struggle, but I think Jack Hawksworth getting back on his game. Okay, down the long front straightaway, Davey setting up for turn number 1. What is Munoz doing right here?
Well, you can see that it really has more bank. This is the highest banking. You kind of go up on the turn 1 entry really high on the front straightaway, cut down to the most banking you have, and there's a lot of pressure on that wheel, Mike, so it takes effort to turn the wheel through that corner, a lot of downforce.
Peter Dempsey is currently running 8th. The Irishman has been pushing, and Davey, this is turn 1, and that car really pushing high, and he did make some contact.
And he did make contact, not good. That's our Freedom 100 winner and the closest finish ever at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and finds himself at that last position right now. Not good when you brush against the wall like that.
Okay, so Davey, explain what's going on with the race car to keep him from being able to steer through that corner.
Well, it looks like the balance is obviously off a little bit in the good way, though, with the front end wanting to slide out, not the back end wanting to come around. Looks like the front end just doesn't have the grip that he needs. Now, he does have some tools inside that car that he could adjust with an anti-roll bar to soften and stiffen the front of the car, or soften the front, stiffen the back is what he needs. And I'm sure he's using those tools right now to try to get that car better.
Here's Sage Karam, and he looks in his rearview mirrors, and Davey, with each passing lap, it seems that Gabby Chavez is starting to reel him in just a bit.
He's reeling him in. The problem that Chavez has right now is he gets behind him and drafts up to him, but he hits the rev limiter, Mike, and once you hit that rev limiter, you have no more speed. It just stops. And so it's hard to pass somebody when you're on that limiter. So it seems as if that the Gabby, they've missed that gearing just a little bit to try to draft. Now he's got a good run off of turn 3 right now. He seems to have it. Now, as long as he doesn't hit that limiter, he may be able to get by him.
Smarter, Davey, for these two guys to run together to try to catch up to Munoz?
Well, as long as it's offense running together, not trying to block each other. And right there, it did look like, possibly that Karam putting a little bit of block on Gabby, but as long as they could gain speed to try to catch the leader, that's what they need to do before a fight right now.
Carlos Munoz has built a 2.6-second lead over Sage Karam. Gabby Chavez runs 3rd. Zach Veach is 4th. 12 of 40 laps are complete at Pocono.
Lineup of vehicles ever.
Introducing the new Chevrolet. Why just go from A to B when imagination can take you everywhere?
Here we go.
Chevrolet. Find new roads.
You are here, the twisting and turning hills of Central France. A stage that will test even the most skilled riders. Hold on tight. Things are going to get bumpy. The Tour de France continues tomorrow morning at 8 on the NBC Sports Network.
It's pretty cool, huh? So, what are you guys working on?
Good question. Over the past 2 years, Charter has upgraded its entire network. It's one reason customers are happier than ever. Now, Charter's reliable, fiber-rich network delivers brilliant HD, powerful internet speeds, and better calling features. No wonder Charter customer satisfaction is at an all-time high.
We're upgrading the network.
Switch to Charter and see why thousands choose us every day.
If you're living with diabetes and have Medicare or private insurance, here is some great news. Call United States Medical Supply today, and we'll send you the smallest glucose meter in the world, absolutely free. So small, it fits right on the bottle of strips.
It only takes a speck of blood, and it gives me my results in 5 seconds. I can even test it on my arm.
And there's no coding for easier, more accurate results.
And if you call now, we'll also send you this stylish full-featured meter at no charge. That's 2 free meters. You can keep one in your pocket and leave the other one at home.
You can even hook it up to your computer so your doctor can track your results.
United States Medical Supply also delivers prescription medication right to my door, so I don't have to go to the drugstore anymore.
Don't let diabetes get in the way of living. Give us a call today at United States Medical Supply and get the smallest meter in the world for free. Call today.
Firestone Indy Lights action on the NBC Sports Network. Mike King with you along with Davey Hamilton and Jake Query. Pleasure that you've decided to join us. We're showing 13 of 40 complete. Carlos Munoz, our pole sitter, Davey, at 188.861 miles an hour to earn his 5th pole of the season. Had an outstanding start. This is the battle for second place. Sage Karam, who came into this race as our championship leader, trying to hold off Gabby Chavez, who's challenging for that spot, has been able to pull up on him, but has not been able to make the pass.
Yeah, 3 seconds is a lot on this racetrack. They've definitely lost the toe. And look behind Gabby in that 4th position of Zach Beach, man. He's 9 seconds back, being 6 seconds behind this race we're seeing right now.
Okay, if you're Chavez and you're able to pull up on that rear wing, what is happening to his race car when he pulls up on Karam?
Oh, you can hear it. You can hear that rev limiter start hitting, and just your speed stops. Once you hit the rev limiter, Mike, that means that's as fast as you're going to go. That's terminal velocity without gearing in the car, and he just can't get by him. And once you hit it, you're just done. You can't get enough run to.
So what, if anything, can he do?
Well, you just hope that Karam makes enough of a mistake and has to lift to where he can pass him early in the straightaway and get beside him, where he's not in that toe so long and hit the rev limiter.
Both of these guys, Davey, were involved in that 4-wide finish at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, where you had 4 drivers separated by roughly 1,000th of a second. And, of course, it was Peter Dempsey who won by 27 10,000ths. But the fact that they have run with each other in those types of situations where they can trust each other, how big of a difference does that make for these young drivers?
Oh, it makes a huge difference. The respect that these guys have shown each other. If you remember, Tony Stewart even texted in saying,
that's right.
Pure, solid racing, respect for each other. He loved it. And these kids really do respect each other. And they weren't defending. They're all playing offense, trying to win that race.
Well, Sage Karam, who is just 18 years old, just turned 18 a couple of months ago. In fact, I need to correct something I said. I had said, I think, during their Milwaukee broadcast, Davey, that both Karam and Veach had just recently graduated high school. Not the case. Veach did graduate high school. Karam's only going to be a senior.
Yeah, and that's
he hasn't even graduated high school yet, but the kid seems to be well on his way. And as for Gabby Chavez, who runs behind him, 20 years old from Bogota, Colombia, you're literally seeing the future, some of the future stars of IndyCar.
Yeah, these top, there's a lot of them, the top 4 guys for sure. And I should say, basically this whole field, I think you can put an IndyCar, Mike, and really have performance with these kids. And they do such a great job. And right now, Carlos is over a 4-second lead right now. So Karam and Gabby, they need to get it going.
Oh, and that's a great shot, David. It gives you just a great idea of just how spectacularly large these straightaways are, how long they are, and Munoz has built nearly a full straightaway difference between himself, Karam, and Chavez.
Well, a full straightaway on the back two straightaways, but not the front one. It's plenty long down this long front straightaway, but he has a nice lead going, and, if a yellow comes out, that all goes away.
Right.
But, with the low car count, we're almost halfway into this race. And you remember last week, he in Iowa, or a couple weeks ago in Iowa, he had a fast race car early, but then the cars turned around.
Remember it went away.
Backed up.
Remember he couldn't turn through the corners in Iowa.
Ended up 2 laps down, had a blistered left front tire. But I don't see any of that happening right now. I think they've done their homework. This car is perfect, but still a long ways to go. We're not even halfway yet.
Well, he has been the class of the field in the Dialyzer Andretti Autosport entry in the practice sessions and in winning his 5th pole, his 5th Sunoco pole award. And Davey, as we mentioned a bit earlier, the fact that he is running his fastest laps at the end of the stint rather than earlier in the stint tells me that the car is set up perfectly for this race.
Yeah, no, they have it right. And, he's been the fastest, Mike, in every practice session, every qualifying session. So it's not a mistake that he's leading this race. He's been the fastest every time that car's been on the track.
I got to admit, I expected Munoz to perhaps be able to check out a bit if he was able to jump the guys early. But I really thought, Davey, that as close as the rest of the field was, that we would see a pack behind him, and that just hasn't materialized.
Yeah, you just don't know until you race. And one thing that happens, Mike, is this is our first time back to this racetrack, so these teams, these drivers aren't familiar. They don't know a good race setup yet because this is the first race. So, they'll come back, and we do it time and time again. They'll change the setup on these cars, and I assure you they will start running nose to tail side by side, more so, somewhat like they do at Indy, Mike. But it takes some experience and time on these new tracks.
Well, we are working lap 20, so we'll be at halfway complete as the leader comes around to start-finish this time. Munoz has now pulled ahead of Karam by 5.2 seconds. Dempsey, on the other hand, Davey, is on the move just a bit. He's +2. Remember, he was running 8 when he made contact with the wall. Has actually now jumped up to 6th place.
Well, obviously, maybe it helped that car. You never know. Maybe it bent something the right direction.
Wait, you've told me for years that hitting the wall, touching the wall, never makes you faster.
It never makes you faster. Well, hitting the wall never makes you faster. It either keeps you the same speed or slows you down.
But maybe brushing the wall has helped the 5 car.
Yeah, maybe it straightened something out and made it faster. Yeah, but if you recall, Dempsey, he's only led 1 lap this year, Mike, and that lap was really a few inches. And the Freedom 100, his car always seems to be in the back early on, and he comes as the race goes, and it seems to what he's doing right now.
Well, Peter Dempsey is by Firestone Indy Light standards, he's an older driver, Dave. He's 27 years old from Ashbourne, Ireland. But even with that, this is still Peter's first full season with Bilardi, where he had 2 partial seasons with other teams. As you see the battle for 4th between Veach and Hawksworth, it's now just about a half a second. But David, the fact that now Dempsey is able to show up at the racetrack for 12 races, knowing what car he's racing in, and the fact he doesn't have to worry about having that seat race in and race out.
Yeah, and Bilardi Racing and Peter got together, decided to do a full season, and it's not easy. They're strapped for money, but they're making a commitment to do it, Mike, and it does help for sure. But right now, he's getting pressure back.
Yeah, that's from Garcia. Yeah, so that's the battle for 6. Dempsey trying to hold off Juan Pablo Garcia as we continue. Carlos Munoz, Sage Karam, Gabby Chavez, the top 3 at Pocono.
A man pioneers a way to see the unseen, leading to radar, forever providing early warnings and safer journeys. The conviction to create a safer journey is the Mazda way. The Mazda 6 uses radar, lasers, and sensors to detect objects and even apply the brakes for you. Introducing the modern sports sedan, the Mazda 6. What do you drive?
When you pay too much for cable, you feel powerless. When you feel powerless, you want to take the power back. When you want to take the power back, you take karate. When you take karate, you want to use your karate. When you want to use your karate, you become the fist of goodness. When you become the fist of goodness, you run along rooftops. And when you run along rooftops, you fall into a dinner party. Don't fall into a dinner party. Get rid of cable and upgrade to DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV.
Jessica, there's something I want to ask you.
Yes?
When I'm switching to winter tires, do I have to change all 4, or can I just put 2 on the front axle? I don't know.
There's a better place to ask questions about your tires. TireRack.com. Right now, get a $50 Firestone prepaid MasterCard and a Turbo Movie Pack when you buy a set of 4 select Firestone tires. For details, go to TireRack.com/TV. TireRack.com. Research, buy, deliver, install.
Give me your street circuits, your ovals. Give me your road courses and your cathedrals of speed. Give me drivers who live to put it all on the line and cars unlike any other. Because this is America, and here we race IndyCar.
Next stop, the Indy Toronto.
It's 2 in Toronto. IndyCar's best drivers take on the mean streets of Toronto twice. The Honda Indy Toronto begins tomorrow at 3 Eastern and concludes Sunday at 3 Eastern on the NBC Sports Network.
Shark Hunters 2-hour series premiere Wednesday, July 31st.
22 laps complete for that driver, the leader, Carlos Munoz. As Munoz has had a car that has been near perfect throughout the weekend. He's 21 years old, from Bogota, has built a 6.5-second lead over Pennsylvania native Sage Karam, who runs second. And Davey, right now, Carlos Munoz is looking to go to Toronto with the championship lead, something he gave up at Iowa.
Yeah, he's looking pretty good. I see him going down the back straightaway. He lifts the shields up, like inches his nose, puts the shield back down. He's calm, comfortable right now. Nice big lead for Carlos, and just riding around. Now, for second, third, that's a little different story.
That's right. Sage Karam is in that number 8 car, the red Comfort Revolution machine, and behind him in the 7 car, you'll find Gabby Chavez, and Gabby has been pressuring the 8 car Davey for lap after lap after lap, but it seems like as soon as he pulls up to that rear wing, he loses momentum and backs up a few car
Yeah,
lengths.
it just has to get the timing right, which is very difficult, and that is to draft up on him through the corners and be able to get beside him coming off the corner and just have a drag race once he's side by side. Because every time he's behind him, Mike, he gets that clean air, that draft, but then it starts hitting the rev limiter and he can't gain any more speed.
It's interesting, David, that shot, you could see Sage looking into his mirrors to check the spacing between himself and Gabby Chavez.
Well, he looks behind him as much as he's looking ahead of him.
Look at that.
Right
yeah,
now.
You can see him doing it again. Absolutely. As the Firestone Indy Lights cars running here, as we mentioned, open wheel racing back at Pocono Raceway for the first time in nearly a quarter century. Everyone, to a man, to a driver, seems to love being back. Firestone Indy Lights drivers, Eyesight IndyCar Series drivers. Certainly Carlos Munoz loves being here. Davey, it's truly a level playing field when it comes to these drivers being here, because none of them had ever seen this place before the test.
That's right. Teams or drivers have ever been here before, and these cars have never seen it. The only time they see a 2.5-mile track is at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And if you recall, early on at that racetrack, when the Indy Lights cars started racing Indy, they were spread out. They took them a little while to figure out the setups on the cars, what they needed to do, how aggressive they could be during the race, and to make it a good, close race. And it's our first time, but there's some good battles on the racetrack. It's just they're spread out a little bit.
25 of 40 laps being shown complete. Davey, I've got to think that Sage Karam at this point, knowing that Carlos Munoz is checked out, his lead has now grown to 7.7 seconds. Sage Karam has got to be thinking just about points.
Yeah.
Here, he needs to defend that second spot on the track.
Yeah, he's saying, hey, can you make sure my teammate finishes behind me so I can keep only 3 points behind Carlos in this points championship? But, I know that Schmidt-Peterson team, it's driver for driver. Just don't take the other one out, but they don't save any spots. You got to earn them.
Well, Sage Karam has been on a roll of late. He won his first Firestone Indy Lights race at Milwaukee a few weeks ago. Davey backed that up by winning a second consecutive race at Iowa. And now here he is running second, so he's got quite a run put together. But keep in mind that Carlos Munoz has already won 2 races this season himself, looking for his third. He won at Barber, he won at Long Beach, he won his 5th pole here today. It looks like we could have ourselves quite a 2-car battle throughout the remaining 5 races after we leave Pocono for this championship.
Yeah, they definitely both have had their bad luck, Mike, as you said, but they both had their wins now, and now it's back to kind of even Steven going into this thing. 3 points back, all that he's behind in that championship. And Mike, let me tell you, he wants this championship. It's a big deal for him to get that, or anybody, because the scholarship goes along with this championship to get you into the IndyCar Series.
Carlos Munoz, here's the driver that we mentioned, 21 years old, Davey, from Bogota, Colombia, I should say, entering turn number 1. Let's take a lap around with Carlos and tell us what you're seeing from his line.
Right there's that turn 1, Mike, with a 14-degree banking, and you can see the banking is pretty nice, holds you there pretty good. Now look how long the straightaway is. It's not a short straightaway. You're a long time in that straight going between turns 1 and 2. Now turn 2, fairly flat, same banking, 8 degrees as the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Nice, easy, flat turn. That's the easiest one of the circuit. A little bumpy through there, but not bad at all. Now another pretty long straightaway. Hard to see the entry going into this flat corner, the Milwaukee corner they call it. See how flat that is, Mike? 6 degrees. Very long. Takes you a long time to get through that thing onto the super, super wide, long front straightaway.
Carlos Munoz, smooth as silk. Of course, this racing surface, they just put new pavement down here, Davey, just a couple of years ago, and my goodness, it is so smooth. Reminiscent at all, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And, you know, it's the one thing, you've turned a lot of laps here in the 2-seater. And, of course, you've turned a lot of laps racing at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. As Carlos Munoz makes his way to turn 2, does it remind you at all of Indianapolis, the turn it's styled after?
You know, it really doesn't. And the reason it doesn't, Mike, is Indy has 4 distinctive turns, you know, to make that 2.5-mile circuit what it is. And you get into a rhythm there. This was hard to get into that rhythm because the car balance changes so much between each of these corners because of the banking, because of the degree of the corner. And so a lot of times you have to use your tools and your sway bars and things inside the car and drive each corner different to where you can really get into a nice rhythm at Indy. And I think that's one reason that you see the close racing and all the spectacular lead changes that we've seen this year.
Well, Carlos Munoz is pulling away, but the battle for second rages on. Sage Karam trying to hold off his teammate Gabby Chavez. Race continues at Pocono.
And the Acorn Stairlifts team is going to have to make a pit stop. He'll have to make this a quick one to stay in his current position.
Yep, the car is up, and it looks like it'll be 4 tires and fuel. Hold on, where's the driver going? This is a bit of a surprise, folks. He seems to have disappeared.
What must the poor pit crew be thinking?
I know what I'd be thinking. Whatever he's doing, it better not take long.
In all my years of broadcasting, I have never seen anything like this. All right, he's back.
And none too soon, I tell you. Acorn Stairlifts, installed in no time flat.
What if Bud Light created the world's biggest stage? And through the music experience of a lifetime. In every single state. On the exact same day.
For a chance to see artists like Miguel, Ludacris, and Dierks Bentley, check out budlight.com/music first. 50 shows, 50 states, one day.
Here we go.
Well, it's shaping up to be the type of weekend that a driver dreams about, and the driver in that car right there, car number 26, the Andretti Autosport entry, piloted by Bogota, Colombia's Carlos Munoz. After all of the issues that he had at Iowa a couple of weeks ago, wound up 2 laps down to the eventual race winner, Sage Karam. Davey, none of those problems here today at Pocono Raceway as Carlos Munoz has now built a 10-second lead over Sage Karam and Gabby Chavez. And here comes Chavez challenging for second. He's going to get him in turn 1.
He finally makes it. And look at, boy, he goes up a little high there. Karam gets in that third spot, takes a little air off him, runs a little bit high. Now we'll see if Gabby can pull away and give any threat to Carlos at all. But with, Mike, with 10 laps left and a 10-second gap, that's a second lap. That's not going to happen.
Now, something would have to happen to Carlos Munoz mechanically at this point, Davey, I think, for either Chavez or Karam to have a chance to catch him.
Yeah.
Here we go. We're setting him up going into turn number 1, David. What do you see?
There, he had some, he gained on him fairly quickly, but he just made that commitment to go underneath quicker, make that quick turn in, but was able to get beside him and not hit that rev limiter. So that was a picture-perfect pass. Took him a long time to do it, Mike, but he set him up perfectly. Now, is Gabby going to be able to pull away or not?
Let's go back to pit lane and Jake Query.
Mike, it's a very big weekend for Sage Karam and his father, Jody Karam. Jody, of course, is the wrestling coach at Nazareth High School. He told me he estimates 1,000 people from the community, including members of the wrestling team, members of Sage's high school football team, and his high school football coach, all in attendance. He told me when Sage Karam came out to get in his car for this race, there were at least 100 people outside his transporter, all of them friends, family, or neighbors from Nazareth, Pennsylvania.
Thanks, gang. Both of these drivers at this point would be on the podium, but once again, Sage Karam doesn't want any points to go away. He wants those second-place points.
Well, what that did is it just put him 5 points farther behind that leader, Carlos Munoz, and now Carlos has an 8-point lead instead of 3.
So what we're looking at right now, Davey, is a 17-point swing because coming into the event at the start of the race, Sage Karam led by 9 points, leaving the race, it looks like he could trail by 8.
By 8, there you go. And that's how quick it can happen on these racetracks. Well, I think that the Sage, he made up in 2 races almost 30 points.
Sage Karam was certainly hoping to be able to drive into victory lane in front of a lot of hometown fans who had driven up from nearby Nazareth, Pennsylvania. Looks like, Davey, he may have to settle for that third step on the podium here today because Gabby Chavez beginning to put a little bit of space between himself and Sage Karam, about 5 or 6 car lengths, about a half a second right now.
The great thing about this is second, third, still a battle on the racetrack right now. And then you go back to 4th and 5th with Veach and Hawksworth. That's still a battle. They're only 1 second apart from each other. And then you go back to Garcia and Dempsey. That was a battle. Looks like Dempsey may be slowing down and lost a couple more seconds on it. But there is battles.
Yeah, you remember we had the battle between Garcia and Dempsey, and Garcia pulled it off just as we were going to break as he picked up the positions. Now pulled away from Peter Dempsey by about 2.5 seconds. So the question is, does Sage Karam in car number 8, does he have anything for Gabby Chavez? And Davey, if he does, when does he show it?
Ooh, not right then. We seen him going into turn 3 right behind, right on Gabby's bumper. But then he got in that dirty air and lost a lot of ground. So timing was not good there. He needs to figure out when he can take advantage of this draft, how he caught up to Gabby, and then try to make that pass without getting that dirty air.
As we mentioned, Carlos Munoz qualified on pole at 188.861. Davey, in the practice session, turned his fastest lap on the 39th of the 44 laps he recorded in practice, nearly an entire race distance for Carlos Munoz. He's just getting faster and faster at this point.
With almost a 13.5-second lead. Oh, look
Look at this.
Pass. Yeah, see, he had the timing down. He's coming off of that turn 3 right now.
Oh,
but look at
baby.
That. But Gabby, he said, no, wait a minute. Oh, they touched.
Man.
You see a little bit of smoke coming off. Ooh, hopefully that didn't cut a tire down on that left rear because it definitely looked like a touch, a little bit of smoke off of Karam's car, but we'll see.
Boy, the Schmidt-Peterson teammates are going at it pretty hard here. Gabby's got him.
Gabby's got him back, and what a race that is.
We're less than 5 laps remaining here. This is the battle for second place. Gabby Chavez in car number 7, currently 3rd in the championship, 33 points back. And Sage Karam, who came in as the championship leader, but based on the standings right now, is currently 8 points back. Every position so important as they will come to the line with 4 laps remaining, Davey. Okay, we saw Karam press the button to get past his teammate a lap earlier. Did he go too early?
Well, we'll see. It looks like maybe he did, but I'll have to say, I don't think he led that lap. And you can watch right here this replay, Mike, and see if they hit each other. Sure did.
And it definitely damaged the wing.
Look at Gabby's wing. He's going to lose some, number 1, he's going to lose some downforce on that front end. And number 2, man, if it doesn't cut that tire down, he's lucky.
Davey, I'm shocked.
And right here it is. Here's the reason of, timing wasn't good. He went into the corner right behind him, lost that front end, and wasn't able to turn on.
As much flex as there was in that right front wing, Davey, I'm surprised that it's still intact.
Yeah, I am too. And you see it laying down on the track right now. He's still cutting some good speed. But I wouldn't be surprised at all if Karam can't time it right to get by him. But don't try to pass him in the corner.
2 laps remaining. 2 laps remaining. We'll be back with a finish here at Pocono. Munoz with a big lead. But who will finish second between Chavez and Karam? We'll find out when we come back.
You may ask one question.
Which tire category should I choose to get the most comfortable ride?
There's a better place to ask questions about your tires. TireRack.com. Right now, get a $50 Firestone prepaid MasterCard and a Turbo Movie Pack when you buy a set of 4 select Firestone tires. For details, go to TireRack.com/TV. TireRack.com. Research, buy, deliver, install.
Inside's yours. Keep pushing here, bud. That's turn 4, spotter. Turn 4's clear.
Streaming 4-in-1 Mosaic.
Inside. One push to fast left. Be smart here.
Live pit crew chatter. Riding shotgun from green flag to checkered. That's powerful. Download IndyCar 13 now, only from Verizon.
The British are coming! Oh, wait. It's the Italians. The Italians are coming!
The 5-passenger Fiat 500L. It's a big new world.
This is going to start a revolution.
Give me your street circuits, your ovals. Give me your road courses and your cathedrals of speed. Give me drivers who live to put it all on the line and cars unlike any other. Because this is America, and here we race IndyCar.
Next stop, the Indy Toronto.
Superstar Robbie Keane leads the 2-time defending league champion LA Galaxy against Darlington Nagby and the Portland Timbers. All rise for MLS tomorrow at 11 p.m. on the NBC Sports Network.
Carlos Munoz looking for his 3rd win of 2013 as he'll come to the line. Just 2 laps remaining. For the 21-year-old driver from Bogota, Colombia, he drives for Michael Andretti, but the battle behind him rages for 2nd place between Schmidt-Peterson teammates Gabby Chavez and Sage Karam. Karam in the red car, Chavez in the white car. And, Davey, they've been going at it for the last 3 laps.
They sure have. Actually touched and got some damage on Gabby's car, but it looks like right now Sage Karam, he's got the preferred line, get down into that turn 1. And, we see that wing is probably not putting quite as much downforce on Gabby's car as he'd like. Slid up just a little bit, but don't give up yet because he passed him. There you can see that wing popping around. See that, Mike, that right front wing just doesn't have as much downforce.
And it's broken due to contact between the teammates as Gabby was trying to get around Sage Karam, but race control reviewed the incident. No action will be taken. White flag has been shown to Carlos Munoz, who, Davey, boy, talk about a perfect drive. He is now working on a 16-second lead over Sage Karam, and now Karam begins to pull away a bit. It looks like Gabby Chavez, the right front wing, has finally, it looks like, played a factor in this.
It has played a factor. Just took away that little bit of downforce. But I tell you what, Karam is so lucky not to have a cut-down tire. But this Carlos Munoz has absolutely dominated this day here at Pocono with that Andretti Autosport car. So it does have some home ties as well.
Carlos Munoz needed a perfect day after a very imperfect run at Iowa. He gets it. Carlos Munoz will lead all 40 laps, and for the third time in 2013, he will see the twin checkers. Carlos Munoz will be pulling into victory lane, the winner of the Pocono 100. Behind him, Sage Karam in a hard-fought battle with his Schmidt-Peterson teammate. Gabby Chavez will come across the line in second. That means, Davey, he gets those 5 points back, and he'll go to Toronto, 3 points behind Carlos Munoz. Chavez, what a great fight as he nurses that 7-car home with the damaged right front wing. He will be 38 points back in the championship, third, headed to the next stop in Toronto.
Yeah, for Sage Karam to be able to get back into that second position around his teammate, Gabby Chavez, that's a big, big deal. That 5 points could mean everything. So, the Schmidt-Peterson cars got second, third with Karam and Chavez, but Carlos Munoz, man, I tell you, what do you say, a dominating day.
A perfect day for Carlos Munoz. Led all 40 laps, of course, as we mentioned earlier, picked up his 5th pole award of the 2013 season. And Davey, does this erase the memories of Iowa for this team? The fact that they come here, run a perfect event, and wind up leaving here with the championship lead back in their hands?
One thing that he has in his favor is a great team, a team of champions. And Michael Andretti's been in the position so many times to have good races and bad races, have good years and bad years. But I'll guarantee that Michael knows how to talk to him and say, hey, forget it, let's move ahead, and this erases everything at Iowa, especially when they got the points championship back.
Carlos Munoz, our new championship leader. We'll hear from him in victory lane when we return to Pocono. Munoz, Karam, and Chavez will fill out the podium here in Pennsylvania.
Give me your street circuits, your ovals. Give me your road courses and your cathedrals of speed. Give me drivers who live to put it all on the line and cars unlike any other. Because this is America, and here we race IndyCar.
Next stop, the Indy Toronto.
Introducing a car company that's never made a single car. We took the power of a 9-year-old V8 and gave it the impressive handling of Firestone's Destination tire. Now, moms agree. Every milk run feels like a victory lap. So whatever you drive a Firestone.
Like metal sticks to a magnet, Chevrolet Camaro ZL1 sticks to the road. With magnetic ride control that responds to road conditions hundreds of times faster than the blink of an eye. Precision handling, born from precision thinking. That's American ingenuity to find new roads.
It's 2 in Toronto. IndyCar's best drivers take on the mean streets of Toronto twice. The Honda Indy Toronto begins tomorrow at 3 Eastern and concludes Sunday at 3 Eastern on the NBC Sports Network.
Hey, honey, can you pull up the recipe for me? I need to see the next step. Come on, Jax, jump.
That shouldn't be a problem. Charter has powerful internet speeds. It's one reason customers are happier than ever. For one low price, they also get brilliant HD, more reliable phones, and the most advanced fiber-rich network in our history. That's an incredible value. No wonder Charter customer satisfaction is at an all-time high. Yeah, no problem. Switch to Charter and see why thousands choose us every day.
Furniture Row's 41st anniversary celebration is happening now. Register to win your choice of a new car, truck, SUV, or a $41,000 shopping spree at Furniture Row. Plus, receive a free gift just for coming in. Furniture Row, home of Denver Mattress, your Tempur-Pedic elite retailer.
Attention dialysis patients. The FDA has issued a Class 1 recall of Granuflow and Natural Light dialysis products used at Fresenius clinics and other dialysis clinics. If you or someone you know suffered a heart attack or sudden cardiac death during or after dialysis, you may be entitled to a cash award. There is no obligation. If we don't get you a cash award, you pay nothing. Call the Sentinel Group now.
Call 800-785-4090. Call now.
For our 41st anniversary, Furniture Row is having a celebration. Get a 60-inch LED HD TV when you buy the sofa, love seat, and 3-table room group for just $19.99. Hurry, anniversary celebration ends soon. Furniture Row, home of Denver Mattress, your Tempur-Pedic elite retailer.
Unofficial results from the Pocono 100 at Pocono Raceway. Carlos Munoz, a dominating day, winning by 16 seconds over Sage Karam with the win. He takes over the championship lead, headed to Toronto. Gabby Chavez, boy, that battle between he and his teammate Karam for second place was a good one right down to the wire. Zach Veach winds up fourth. Hawksworth was fifth. Garcia comes home sixth. Dempsey had the brush with the wall early on, Davey, and then Goncalves, who came home in eighth place. All in all, though, while Munoz made a laugher of it a bit with as far as the race win, no one had anything for him. That battle for second really was a great show for the fans.
Well, one thing, we've always seen great races. We like to see it for the lead, but although second, third was a great battle, and the second place in points and third place in points, that's how they finished.
Yep, so as we mentioned, every position seems to be so important, and certainly Karam and Chavez showed that throughout the final 15 laps of this race. Carlos Munoz leads all 40 laps, and he winds up with his third win of 2013. Our Jake Query has the winner in victory lane.
He made it look easy here in Long Pond, Pennsylvania. Carlos Munoz has won in the Firestone Indy Lights, and you want to talk about flag to flag and dominating performance. We talked to you beforehand. Take me through that start and that jump you got. You had a lot of horsepower in this 26 machine.
Yeah, I knew if I make a little bit of gap from the second, I could pull away. I was really fast by my own. That's what I did. I did a great start. Gabi was second. I could pull away a little bit after T1, and after that, I flat out almost all the race. The car was awesome. My team since the beginning. After a tough week in Iowa, we were really in a really sad mood, but right now we are back in the championship, so I'm proud of it. I did a great job, so still a long way to go.
In the practice session this morning, I know you worked a lot in pairs and in traffic. Did you have any concern how your car would run when you were so far out by yourself?
No, I knew by my own I was really fast. All weekend in morning's practice today, I did 45 laps, so it's a race distance. The car was good all the laps, so I knew I had a great car, really consistent car, and I'm really happy.
Great points day for you. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Carlos Munoz has won the Firestone Indy Lights here in Pocono, Pennsylvania.
So Carlos Munoz, who relinquished the point lead at Iowa, he didn't have it out of his hands for long, because with the win, he now owns the championship lead, headed to Toronto for race number 8 of the 12th makeup calendar, and he owns a slim margin, Davey, over Sage Karam, just 3 points. Gabby Chavez by no means out of it, as he finds himself 38 points back, and the 5-car of Dempsey, he's going to have to put up some good results here soon, as he finds himself now 58 points back.
Yeah, that's tough right there, Mike. That's a lot to make up. And he has the biggest win of the year, but he's going to struggle to win this championship.
Sage Karam picking up a big second-place finish, and what a 3-race run he has had. Sage Karam standing by on pit lane with Jake Query.
Man, that was a lot of action there in the last quarter of that. That was a hard-fought second-place finich. Take me through the run. Let's say the last 10 laps in particular, the battle with Gabby.
Yeah, and me and Gabby ran each other hard the whole race, and we've been racing each other since we were kids in go-karts, so we know each other like the back of our hands. And he was gonna race me clean, I raced him clean, and he made a good move. Got around me, and I was having trouble there for a little bit to get around him, but I knew when I had an opportunity, I had to commit, and I semi-committed the one time and got alongside him, couldn't make it stick, and then got the next opportunity, made it happen, and we actually made light contact, and he hit my tire, bent his wing up a little bit, and that was it.
When at any point in the race did you realize, Carlos got a lot for us today, his car's hooked up, let me keep this clean and start thinking about points? Do you have to start thinking that way? Yeah,
I was thinking about points all weekend just because, Carlos was so fast all weekend. No one really had anything for him, and the first lap we go out and I can't even catch up to him in the draft. It just, I don't know what was going on, but he was just pulling away even in the draft. So no one had anything for him this weekend. So I just knew the next best thing if we can't beat them, we got to just finish right behind them. So I fought hard for second.
I think the entire town of Nazareth was here. Tell me about the fan support and just what it means for you to have your high school football coach, your teammates, your school, and your classmates here.
Yeah, it was insane. I think I had like over 50 people here just in my guests, and I got out of the car, got second place, and the crowd just went crazy, and it's such a cool feeling. Never had that happen before, and like I said, this was my home turf, and I wanted to come in here and get them a win, but we just had to settle for second. Thank you.
So as we get set to bid Pocono farewell, I want to remind you to join us for the 8th race on the 2013 Firestone Indy Lights Championship schedule. It should be a good one north of the border in Toronto. Make plans to join us. For Jake Query and Davey Hamilton, I'm Mike King. Congratulations to Carlos Munoz, and thanks for joining us for Firestone Indy Lights action on the NBC Sports.